I was just talking to the mayor of Troy, who was talking. We were in a room, and he was saying how he had studied calculus in the room where we were taking a picture.
You mentioned the president making a couple jokes, ad-libbed or otherwise during the speech, which he does. And there's actually a moment where he talks about taking a photo with the then mayor of Troy, who was Harry Tatunjian at the time, who was a graduate of Hudson Valley Community College. And it was that they had taken the green room where they were taking the photos of everybody was actually a room that the mayor at the time when he was a student at Hudson Valley had taken calculus in that room. And the
No way.
yeah, he kind of riffs and says, "Oh, I told him I didn't take calculus," and the whole room kind of laughs. It's a very funny, like light moment of like hyper local recognition that like centers the speech to the people in the room.
I was just talking to the mayor of Troy, who was talking. We were in a room, and he was saying how he had studied calculus in the room where we were taking a picture. And I had to inform him I didn't take calculus. But he was testimony. He was an example of what you can do because of an institution like this. And I know that here in Troy, you want and need that chance after so many years of hard times.
And this kind of gets to my first point, like how important is it to have nods to local people or locations, not necessarily like acknowledgments, but dropping in those little snippets of I'm gonna mention the local hot dog place that everybody likes, or I'm gonna stop here, or something like that. Like, how important is that to sort of make a speech connect to a local audience from a president of the United States?
And it's important. It shows a couple things. One, he took the time to get to know something about us. Wow. Don't discount that. It's powerful. It helps people trust you a little bit. We call it the handshake at the top of the speech. You drop a little local wisdom. They're like, oh yeah, okay, he's one of us. He's one of us. He knows that the Tigers won on Friday night. And it's just fun. You kind of loosen people up at the start because my least favorite place for him to deliver a speech was the East Room of the White House. Because, you go in there and it's most people in the crowd, it'll be their first time in the White House. They're wearing suits and uncomfortable shoes or dresses, and you don't really know if you're allowed to stand or make noise, right? So it's always like giving a speech in a museum. But if you're out somewhere, people are a little more relaxed, especially if you're visiting their town. But it's still, the President of the United States and all the trappings that come with it. This enormous motorcade that shuts down the city, and Air Force One flying around, and Marine One flying around, and there's this kind of holy shit component to it. Whatever your political persuasion, when the president comes to town, it is a big, big deal. And so if you can put people at ease right off the bat, that's like a superpower.